Hi guys, and welcome to a new video. As many of you already seen, we did in March 71,000 in total profit across all the stores, and I'm gonna explain you a little bit more about the structure we used to have or we are using right now to hit these numbers consistently and even more. Because for fashion dropshipping, it is very important to have a strong backend, to have multiple backups, and also to work with different payment providers. And in this video, I'm gonna go step by step what you need to have in place to have a good backend and to be able to scale on that. So let's start. So right now we have 3 active stores. We had 5, but unfortunately USA we needed to close down because of course because of the tariffs. It's not sustainable. We don't know what will happen. The situation is kind of risky, so we are avoiding it. Denmark, we closed it because mobile pay is also denying a lot of payments, and right now there's way too much competition. After we crashed Denmark, everybody went to Denmark, so that's fucked up, but it is what it is. So other people are doing money now, good for them. But we are avoiding Denmark right now. We go to different markets now. It's like not worth the hassle. You can do with way less hassle, way more revenue in other markets. And we already prepared 3 new stores for tomorrow, or like for the next days, but actually launching tomorrow, all of them. Different markets, and also we're gonna try having 2 stores in the same market with the same strategy basically. About payment processing. Payment processing is so important for fashion dropshipping because it's a high risk niche what we are doing. So it is also important with what kind of payment processors we work with. So there's, for example, PayPal, credit card, and B2B payments. Having different stores gives you also the opportunity to spread your risk on different payment providers, payment methods, for example, PayPal, credit card, and B2B. With PayPal, for example, you get instant payouts. You can withdraw and immediately pay your cost of goods or reinvest back in your business, for example. So very good for cash flow. Credit card, and credit card and B2B payments, it takes between 3 and 7 days payout. So having a mix of both is very nice. So having a market with a mid PayPal usage, a high PayPal usage, and then also some credit card payments and B2B payments. Because then you're spreading the risk on different payment providers, and that's why we also don't scale only one shop, we scale multiple shops. Airwallex we use only for payouts. We don't use the Airwallex payment gateway because if this gets shut down, your Airwallex account can be terminated. So don't do it. Just use Airwallex for payouts. Either it's from Ocean Payments, from Shopify Payments, any other payment provider. Use Airwallex for payouts only. Especially Facebook fashion dropshipping is all about budget and cash flow. Because if you don't have both, it is very hard to keep consistently testing and also to scale. If you have more budget, you can scale harder, you can scale faster. Also, you can scale vertically. This means you can increase budgets on winning campaigns, and also you can scale horizontally. That means that you just opened multiple stores in different markets, or like in the same market, it doesn't depend. About the backend and the order management. Backend is very important, or like most important for fashion dropshipping, because this is like the highest risk niche you can eventually do in dropshipping, because there can happen a lot of things like bad quality, wrong sizing and stuff like that, delayed orders, out of stock and stuff, because we are selling multiple items in the store, so it is very hard to keep track on that, but you can improve on that. You can track it, you can control it. Having a good in-house customer service team is very important, so train them very well that they are taking action every part of your backend, especially on your customer service side. Also have a good dispute manager who is working every day for your business, handling the disputes, having a nice flow, having an SOP. This is very important to have a very high win rate of the PayPal disputes and of your chargebacks. Then, what is very important, you need to track daily the sheets. You need to track daily all of your sheets. If it's the order sheet, so there you will write down all the orders with issues, so resend, or wrong item is missing and stuff like that, so you can track all of your orders. Also the refund sheet for partial refunds, full refunds, so you have a clear vision over the refunds, how much percentage you're paying, how much in total and stuff like that. And if you have control on everything what I mentioned here, you already have like 70 to 80% a very good and solid backend. But you need to take care of all of here what I wrote you. Basically the disputes, and also having a clear overview on all of your orders. If something is out of stock, immediately refund. If something is missing, either resend or refund. So this is how to keep customers happy, just having everything in overview. Because if you don't take action on your backend, everything will collapse sooner or later. Next one is the front end. Well, scaling and also having a nice structure. What I mean with a nice structure is basically having multiple BMs actively, because we don't only advertise on one BM, we advertise on multiple BMs. Because if one BM gets shut down eventually, what can happen, of course, nowadays with meta bans it can happen, but if you have multiple BMs, if one only gets disabled, well, you have multiple already running, so you're not having everything in one basket, so your revenue is spread on multiple BMs, which is of course very nice. Also have multiple agency ad accounts connected to your BMs. So what we have is at least 2 ad accounts for each of our stores, also to spread our risk, and each ad account is connected to one of these BMs. What we did in the past, so in the last 2-3 weeks, we also tested different agencies again. We also tested Chinese ad accounts. We don't recommend using Chinese ad accounts. We only use RHKA ad accounts because we used to have the best performing there. They're sustainable. They also for scaling very good. But with the Chinese ad account, well, maybe you will pay less fees, but to be honest, I prefer paying a little bit more fees, but then I have quality ad accounts, I have good performance ad accounts. But with the Chinese ad accounts, I don't see both. I only can save a little bit on fees, but that's all. What we also did lately is scaling kind of aggressively after 24 hours or even during the day. So sometimes, if we have a really good ROAS on the first day of testing a new product, we immediately scale it to a higher budget. If we have like, let's say a 4 ROAS or 5 ROAS on the first day, we immediately scale it. And if you do it on the first day, like the chance that this product is gonna work out is kind of high. Because if you scale kind of aggressively already on the first day and it works out on the second day, you can just keep doubling the budget over the next days basically, if it will continue giving you a good ROAS. Or even just continue scaling the budget by 20% every day. This is also possible if it works out for you. So scaling aggressively sometimes works. Of course, you need a good backend for scaling aggressively. And also something what we learned now is the best thing you can do, like the best sustainable thing for your business, is having for each store 1 pixel. We used to have 1 pixel for multiple stores in the EU. It worked out pretty good, but as soon as we added more stores to the pixel, and then also the USA, the pixel got confused. Because you have multiple languages, you have multiple peak times, also different CPCs, different CPMs. So also the peak times are different, so you have multiple data for your pixel, so your pixel does not know how to optimize, and that's very bad, because also the seasons are different from each region to region. So what we did is we restarted basically from zero again like 3 weeks ago, but now we are back at it again, so very nice, because we know how it works. But what I recommend you is using 1 pixel for each store, because then there can't be any issue, because then every pixel is optimized for this store, especially for this customer behavior, for this metrics, peak times, stuff like that. About the product research and testing. So what is very important is to test daily 5 products at least, to keep also your Facebook in track, so Facebook sees you're spending every day money on Facebook. And what we are doing is testing on based on validated trends. So that means you can go to Google Trends, see what's working right now in your market, or just make a proper competitor research, check out what your competitors are selling in your market. Mostly try to find a pattern across all the competitors, and then try to sell the same items or similar items, or try to find similar items to the currently existing winners from your competition, and then trying to find a sweet spot, and then also being able to scale. Also, we went into different markets and tried to find newly trending products over there and put it in our market. This is also working really good. If you just look what is trending in other markets, kinda new, and then put it in your market, works really good. What we also did in the past is optimizing our stores even more so it feels more branded, because a lot of people noticed or saw our stores. They actually don't know that it's our store, but of course they copy, and we don't want that our store looks the same like other stores. So we changed a little bit. It looks more branded now, more trust, better CVR, better AOV, and this is all what we want. And also, what we did is having a proper email marketing setup from day one. Because this is very crucial, very important, you will lose eventually money and revenue if you don't have it set up from the beginning. And also, having a store set up with email marketing, like with the flows from the beginning, this will help you scale your store faster to higher numbers, because this eventually these flows will give you between 15 and 20% more revenue. And if you're missing out on that since the beginning, you're basically losing money, because you're not taking action on email flows, which will give you basically free profit. And with this profit, you can scale way faster and way easier and way more sustainable, way more healthier and everything. Next one is that we focus more on quality instead of quantity. So also what that means is we optimize our backend, we optimize our stores, we improved our funnels, we improved our CTRs, so our creatives, our ad copies, instead of just testing like stupid a lot of products. No, we want to improve on the things which actually already work now, so double down on what's work, improve on that, because eventually if you get like, let's say 10%, 20% more revenue per customer, this will help you increase for the long term even better and even easier. So don't underestimate these things. First work on your backend and then scale with your backend, because then you will make way more money, and this is basically where all the revenue is missing for all the and this is basically the reason why all the Facebook dropshippers are not making money, because they underestimate this eventually, because this is at least between 20 and 40% of the revenue. And if you don't do it, this is basically where your profit is gone. And this is exactly the strategy we're gonna use to hit 500k days. Just spreading our risk across multiple backups, across multiple ad accounts, PMs, payment providers, bank accounts, and stuff like that. And also we always start with a shop with Shopify payments first. If we notice that we get a hold or a rolling reserve, we switch the store to Ocean payments really quickly. And also our infrastructure is in place. Our backend is very strong. We are able to track everything, which is very important. We can track our refunds, our disputes, our orders, so basically everything. This is very important, because based on that, you can solve issues very fast, and this is always what we want. We want to solve cases opened by customers, or any order, any email. We always need to close it. And if you take a lot of time to close these kind of things, well, this will fuck up basically your backend. But with a good team and good sheets, you're able to have a good backend, and then based on a good backend, you can scale basically to the moon. So that means what you just need is having a good team, having a few sheets where you have control or overview over everything in your backend, track them daily, see where you can improve on, and that's it. And of course, no day off, guys. You need to work, you need to put in the time, build momentum, because only if you test daily and also if you work daily, this is how you build momentum. So the biggest takeaways and lessons for us for the last weeks is having an even stronger backend, working on the backend every day, improve it. It doesn't matter if it's already good, because you can always improve on your backend. Make more sheets, make them better, hire better people, more people, and stuff like that. So the biggest lessons and takeaways for the last weeks are basically having a strong backend, improve on your backend every week, every month, because your backend can always be improved. Every week you will notice something which is lacking in your backend, improve on that, of course, and then with your backend you will do way more revenue and way more profit. And regarding the revenue and profit, not revenue will make you money, the profit will make you money. So make sure that you work on your profit. This is by increasing your AOV, your CVR, and your CPC by having better creatives and testing products which actually are trending right now in your market. And yeah, guys, that's it. Put in the time, put in the work, implement this sheet or what I told you into your business, and then eventually you will have a stronger backend and you can scale way faster and easier. Take care, guys. Bye bye.